Okay, good evening to all, and I welcome Rohit Kumar, Aishwarya, and Pawan for this talk or online webinar. So this webinar is mainly scheduled for power programmer and system engineer specialist role interview preparation. So this week only we got this like result shortlisted student list. So me and Dixit madam thought to conduct a webinar session, and as we requested to Rohit Kumar, Aishwarya and Pawan, so they are accepted our invitation. So thank you all of you, and thank you for sharing your experience, Rohit, Aishwarya and Pawan, with our students, because you are already gone through the Hack with Infi and like Hack with Infi and through InfyTQ platform or through in-campus through this way you are selected in Infosys company. And also previously also Rohit Kumar and the other friends also, they even interacted for like TCS interview preparation and persistent and all. So thank you for accepting our invitation. And now all the participants. So and one more thing that I want to tell these three guys that the Infosys has conducted a second time a fresh in-campus recruitment, second time, and in that mainly they are selected like they are like conducted only for the system engineer specialist and power programmer, only for these two roles. So in that there are 71 students, they are shortlisted for power programmer role and SES role. So these 71 students, they are appearing for the interview in the coming days. And now I request our students also to interact with these three guys, because you people are appearing for the interview. So before that, these three guys, they will share their experience. They are already working in the Infosys company present. So yes, Rohit Kumar, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate everyone here who has been shortlisted for the uh, SES and PP role. And I really wish you all the best so that you clear the interview and get placed for those roles. And I also welcome my friends Aishwarya and Pawan here in this meet. And I would like both of them to also start with me and share the experiences. Hi Aishwarya, hi Pawan.
Thank you. Hi Rohit. Hi Pawan. Thank you for your warm welcome. And thank you, Naik sir, for introducing us.
Good
I
evening,
want to
everyone.
add
And
one line for three of them. They are really very good coders.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
these three guys are.
huh.
Rohit Kumar,
Yes, sir.
the first question that as you three people are like really you people are good in the coding. Just one thing I want to ask is like there are three roles are there the Infosys is hiring for: system engineer specialist role, and power programmer role. So what is the difference in the job?
Okay, so sir, from the job perspective, I can just give you a gist of what difference it is. I can't really go into the deep because of company policies.
Yeah.
So from the surface level, it is like when you are on different job levels, so you have a different hands-on experience in training for different sections or different areas of the industry. So if you like for power programmers and SES, you are generally trained as a full stack developer. So when you're a full stack developer, you have the flexibility of moving across the complete stack and working anywhere where you feel comfortable. But For SE, we don't have that flexibility because the area of expertise that a system engineer goes through is specified by his or her training. So uh, that benefit of changing the stack, changing the area of work anytime, that feature, what do you say, that fruit you can reap being an SES and a PP. That is something that you have in hand, other than the SE or other roles.
Okay. Like I heard that like for the base role package, system engineer, like they don't get the projects and all. Is it true?
So, sir, this it is not in this way that you don't get projects.
Okay.
All the projects that you get are based on client requirements,
Yeah.
and uh, like your projects are basically in your hand, because when you are released from training, it's all on you to apply for projects and get into it. And if you feel that you are not getting projects and all, you can upgrade your skill level upgradation. I mean, like, there are different courses. They have a platform where you can learn different skills, other technologies, and based on that you can update your skill level in the company's portal. So the more skill level you have for in the company portal, there are more chances of you getting a good project.
Okay. Like to upgrade the skill level means is it like that in PTQ platform portal is there? No, is the same platform or different?
No, there are different platforms. Internal in the company, there is a different platform where you learn and get certifications, and you can even get offline certifications, like from different other third-party websites. But it depends on your manager's approval. So
Okay.
all those things, if you do and if you update your skill level, then you can definitely get good projects. So getting projects is based on your skill level, not only on the company's end.
Okay. Okay. Great. So the now come to the interview point of view. Like our students, they are facing the interview for SES role and Power Programmer role. So what type of questions, the difficulty level of questions will come?
Okay, so we'll start with the interview experiences. I can't give a blockage. I can't like definitely define a particular type of difficulty level for the questions that they ask in the interview, because for me it was a different experience. For Aishwarya, for Pawan, for everyone, we had some different experiences. So there are different levels of questions that that we get in the interview. So uh, I guess in the complete meet we'll discuss about the difficulty level of the questions and our experiences. So probably this question would be answered, and if we miss it, then we'll definitely cover it at the end. So I would like Aishwarya and Pawan
Yeah.
to any one of them can start with the experiences, and then we'll continue.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Aishwarya, please, can you start?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Before I start, I have one question. These students given a coding interview, coding round, or any aptitude like test?
No, coding was there, and
Okay.
for especially for this batch,
Hmm.
because of the requirement, they are conducted a second in-campus recruitment only for 5 lakh and 8 lakh package,
Okay.
not for base package.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
First of all, heartiest congratulations to all folks. You have grabbed the one milestone, and one milestone is left. We have to achieve that. I will share my experience. As you have given the coding interview, then your logical ability of is tested. So in SES interview, they mainly focuses on the conceptual knowledge. The conceptual knowledge includes, first, if you are trying to give an interview, then start with your resume. See your resume once. what points you have mentioned, because all your interview depends on your resume. Whatever you have written in your resume, you should know about it. If you don't know, then remove that thing. First thing, clear your resume, do verification by your teachers, and take the opinion from them, and then only proceed. In this resume, they're not going to see the 10th 11th percentage, 12th percentage. The focus area is the project, what project you did. The interview starts as you entered in your, as it is a virtual round, so only virtually they start. It is a normal one. They don't even talk like start with direct project or anything else, any technical question. Slowly they round the interview, start the interview by the questions like introduce yourself, tell me about your college, tell me about your school life, and all, tell me about your family. To give this answer, please properly give this answer, because Infosys see the communication skill also. If you give properly these answers, then you are in the through the answers they form the question. Whatever you mention in your answer, they take a point from that and start questioning on you. So the your interview is in your hand. So mention properly, introduce yourself. How I prepared for introduce yourself? Go through YouTube content. There are many channels for the search only for introduce yourself. See the more YouTube videos and take a little points and add our ones and make it proper. How to introduce ourselves, and in that mention about your projects, your extra curriculum, or your co-curricular activities. All the things you have to mention them. After that, the things comes for the project. The there is a two types of project, that is a mini project and the our last semester project. Then while giving the answer, describe your project properly, whatever you did in your project and which technology stack you have used, why it is used. And keep each and every knowledge about your project. Don't miss anything regarding that. So project is the main basic fundamental. They only interested in your project and internship thing. If you they are asking regarding any project thing and you are unable to answer, then it will give bad impact. So main basic point is your introduction, and after that your project. Okay, then after the project, internship things comes. If you have done internship, then it is well and good. If it is nothing like that, then it is okay. Only the we have to divert the whatever interviewer to our whatever the area we have focused. If we want the interview, there are the chances the interviewer may ask, what is your favorite subject? So prepare any of the subject properly in which you are mastered. Then you can, the interviewer can ask only the questions regarding that subjects. First of all, if you tell any subject which is your favorite one, and if you are unable to give the answer, then it is a bad impact. So prepare any subject, like is OS, CN, DBMS, any of that, any one of the subject properly from basic to a high level. So prepare any of the subject. After that, the thing comes, whatever language. Sometimes they ask the coding questions you solved in your online coding test, and what approach you have given in that question. There may be chances of asking this. It is not possible that everyone will ask. It depends upon interviewer. So think about the question, whatever you solved in the exam, and try to solve it in a optimized way again. So if they ask, then you can give optimized answer. You can tell, I solved in this way, but I found the another optimized answer way to solve this, and you can explain that also. It is the plus point that you solve the in a optimized fashion. After that, the whatever language you used, that is the most important thing. They come to the language you used. Okay, the language, suppose you have used Java or C++, then the Java related interview questions are there on the, if you search on Google, Java related interview questions, then go through that. Whatever are the first, on the first page, the links are given. Go through all the links, because you can find many more different questions there. And after that, you can refer to Java tutorials point. It is also best for the Java. And if I don't know about C++, If you have any idea, then you share among your friends. If anyone is used C++, so whatever the knowledge of this language, you have to clear about the knowledge, Java language or any of the language. After that, the oops concept comes. Clear your oops concept. Don't get confused while answering, like overriding and overloading differences, abstract class, interfaces, all the things. Clear those concepts because it is basic. They can ask regarding the oops concept. Okay. After that, that comes to the data structures and algorithm. Prepare the data structures. That is array, linked list, tree, stack, graph. In array, what you have to do? The graph arrays, the basic problems regarding array you have to solve. You get the problems related to that on Hacker Rank or Late Code or even on Geeks for Gigs, because there might be chances as it is virtual interview. So one or more coding question can be asked or may not be asked. So we have to but we have to prepare our best. So try to solve the array basic questions. After that, linked list. What to give, what to study in linked list? There are the single linked list, doubly linked list, all the things. In that, there are the basic programs like reversal of linked list, insertion, deletion, and the insertion at the middle. These all the basic programs, you know the logic behind it, so you can explain it properly. Okay. After that, the tree. The tree in the tree, mostly they won't ask the tree for SES. Only the theoretical knowledge can be asked. The differences between binary tree and binary search tree, and after stack queue basic operations, and how DFS BFS works. These concepts can be asked. And also you have to prepare the sortings, all the sorting algorithms and how they works, and how we can write code for that. And along with that, you have to always uh, the complexity of all the sorting algorithms, the complexity of any of those sorting algorithm can be asked. So you have to do it properly. This is regarding data structures and algorithm. After that, in every interview they ask about the DBMS for SES. It is the main focused area where the interviewer can ask you to write a queries. They can ask you to write the any queries like group by using group by having, and the main familiar queries like mostly asked in interviews: find second highest salary, find third highest salary. These kind of queries can be asked, and they also can ask to write these queries and how it works, and the differences between group by and having, and normalization 1NF 2NF. The basic questions regarding this can be asked. While studying the database, you can refer in W3 school. All the theoretical knowledge is given properly. After that, after reading W3 school, you search on Google the DBMS interview questions. Then follow all the links, read it once because it has different questions. It might help you. So your interview will be good one. If you have basic knowledge about trending technologies, then it is well and good. If you don't have, then read about it as ML cloud computing, because they can ask like, do you have any trending technology knowledge? So you can tell about that. Like I have cloud computing knowledge, basic knowledge, ML basic knowledge. Uh, because nothing is better than something. Something is better than nothing. Sorry. So keep some basic knowledge, not like a deeper thing, and don't go into deep. If you have don't know about anything, but don't try to give any wrong answer. If you don't know, then please clearly mention that, sir, I don't know about this. I will study regarding this. Give the answers in in humble way. Don't be like rude person. Always be humble while giving the answer, and don't panic. If you are unable to answer, then don't panic, because interviewers are very good. They always they always give time. Take your time, think. And if you know the answer of any questions interviewer asks, then don't be hurry. Take some 1 second, 2 second, then tell them what is the answer, because it will be like you have completely just like a rectamar thing, all of you know. Don't be like a rectamar. Just take few minutes. Please calm down and then try to give answer properly, and don't be in a hurry way. If you give your answer fast and fast, as it is virtual interview, the interviewer won't be able to get you. As it is face to face, then it is sometimes faster way can be okay. As it is virtual, so give your answer slowly. This these are the questions, and the last point I want to mention is like the every interviewer asks, do you have any question? So take this opportunity and ask them what regarding your doubt. You can ask like the training process in Infi, or any other thing. Don't ask any foolish thing, because they don't reveal any company policy. It how Infosys works, what are the projects are ongoing. Don't ask like this. Only ask some basic question. If you ask this question, then interviewer can think like he has interest in our company because we want to enter in their company. So we have to develop interest regarding us. So ask the last question and decide before that what I want to ask at the last, because every interviewer asks the question. And if you mentioned your hobbies in your resume, be clear with your hobbies, because the interview can be only technical, or interview can be only HR. It depends upon interviewer. It can be it can revolve around only your hobbies, or it can be only around your technical knowledge. So if your written hobbies like a blogging, then be clear about that. Don't be fake. Don't write any fake hobby. If you written the reading book is my hobby, and you told I read this book XYZ book, and interviewer also read that book, then he will ask what is in that book. So be clear about your hobbies. And another main thing, if you have mentioned the certification like NPTEL certification, like Java, data structures and algorithm, any other certification kind of thing. If you don't have any knowledge about that, if you have zero knowledge, then remove that things. If you are 100% clear about that, whatever certification you have did, then only keep that thing, because that focuses on the certification. As in my case, I have mentioned the NPTEL certification course. That is the first year course of engineering English, something like that. He asked it in detail about that. So mention the things properly, which you know 100%. That is the one thing only. This is the regarding the SES interview. After, if as your coding interview is done, so basically the conceptual knowledge is enough. But if interviewer is interested in your coding knowledge, want to test your ability of coding, then he might ask like simple programs, Fibonacci series, prime numbers, linked list related programs, and other like any patterns relate diamond patterns and all pattern program. So do revise the things properly. And if interviewer asks you to write the program, then you don't like write your program then explain the thing. While writing the program, you will explain the things properly, so he can get what the logic you have developed and what are you doing further. So don't be like first write program, then we'll explaining. First, while writing, you should explain. I hope so, because the interview in my interview there is nothing like coding question, but as it is virtual interview, but there are the chances they will ask one or two coding questions. So prepare for that. This is all regarding SES interview. If you have any question regarding this process, then you can unmute or keep your doubts in chat window. I will answer that.
Yeah, sure. It's a great explanation about all the complete procedure. Let me know, in the virtual interview, are they asked to write a code
Yeah.
on the editor?
Yeah, sir. They
So
can ask,
they can ask.
because in our one is face to face.
Okay.
So in my case, there was nothing like they don't tell me to write any code,
Okay.
as it is going virtually. So to test the ability and logical thinking of the front person, there are the chances.
Okay. Okay.
So we have to prepare our 100%.
Okay. And so here is the list of all the 73 students. So this list, it includes CSE students, majority around 32 students, and IT students, even ENTC and electronic students also there. Uh, so is there any like a difference in the in the interview for ENTC or electronic students and CSE guys? Any?
The difference, so the data structures and algorithms is the basic fundamental of coding. So they can ask the things regarding that. But if they ask regarding any CS subject to the ENTC guy, then he can tell I am from ENTC, but he has some basic knowledge and he can tell. But so as he mentioned, he's from ENTC, then they can change their question. There might be chances, but it is better that they will keep ENTC guys or other department guys keep the knowledge, like basic knowledge of
Yes.
subjects.
So guys, so this list around, I think around 50 students are maybe placed in this list already with the base package or in persistent company and all, because it was a high package. So all of you are means they allowed to sit for the this in campus, because you are this is for the 5 lakh and 8 lakh package.
Yeah.
So those who are not placed, around maybe around 20-25 students are there in the list. Those who are still they don't have any job. So guys, you people, please take it seriously. It is your last chance. It is your last chance to get into the Infosys, because for your batch, the Infosys has conducted through Infosys InfyTQ platform and Hack with Infy, and this in campus two times. Like, 2 times they are conducted the in campus. So you are almost got 4-5 times chances. So this is your last, because in the next 2 to 3 months you are completing your graduation. In May month you are having an exam. So it is already end of the March, April, May. There are 2 months are remaining. So as Aishwarya said, the project is very important, because it is your last stage, and you can't say that still we are under process and all. You need to explain complete 100% project. You need to explain. So please ask any questions if you have to these three guys.
Actually, night sir, I am
Yeah,
expecting the communication from both sides.
yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes,
One more thing missed by my side. I would like to add the thing.
yeah,
They will ask like, why do you want to join Infosys?
info.
So keep proper answer for that question, because that will give impact on interviewer. Why you want to join the Infosys? So
Okay.
search about the thing, and keep also basic knowledge that who is the founder and what is going inside the Infosys. All the basic things. If you go through Wikipedia, then you get these things regarding that. And as regarding the project, the SDL, go through the SDLC life cycle
Yes,
and the
yes.
testings, because there are the chances like what is the method, the agile methodology is used, or which methodology is used in your project, and what is SDLC life cycle, that is software engineering part,
Yes.
and how you tested your project. These things can be asked in your interview. Um,
Okay, guys, please, if you have any questions, you can ask. ELTC guys, electronics guys, please take it seriously. It is your golden chance. You have got opportunity. You are already cleared the test. It is just you need to face an interview, and you can get the job.
Okay. Good evening,
as
everyone.
sir told something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I am
Yeah,
Pawan Ali, and I am currently working in Infosys, and I am graduated in 2020. So, congratulations to all of you guys who are shortlisted in the shortlisted for the interview. You are all clear the coding round in Hack with Infy, right?
Yeah.
And in InfyTQ
No,
platform.
no. One thing, yeah, not through Hack with Infy, the second round of Infosys in campus.
in campus for SES and PP role.
Higher
Okay.
package.
Okay, that's a
But
good
the
number.
two coding means coding round is there. They supposed to
Yeah.
code 2 program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have done gone through the coding round, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So so before directly jumping and telling about what they will ask in the interview, I would like to explain why they would conduct the interview. So the purpose of the interview is to assess your programming ability, to check whether you are capable to work in a company or not, uh, to check whether you have a good problem solving approach. What kind of approach do you apply to solve a problem? Okay, and to check whether you are well versed with the IT trends. For this purpose, they conduct the interview. And in interview, what matters the most and what they will ask in the interview is written in the word ask itself. Okay, I will just present my screen.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I will unshare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, yeah, you can see.
Yeah. We can see.
Can you see the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So we can see that in the interview, what matters the most is the attitude, skills, and knowledge. The what they will ask in the interview is written in the word ask itself. So A stands for attitude, S stands for skill, and K stands for knowledge. So through the coding rounds and all the aptitude tests and programming tests, they will get to know whether you have a good knowledge uh, of the you have good knowledge in programming and aptitude, right? So most of the thing what matters is the attitude, the way you apply the approach to solving the problem, the way you interact with the uh, people, and the way you speak. What is the kind of response for a particular situation? It depends on the attitude. So in the interview, they what matters the most is the attitude. For 60% of the interview is based on how the selection is based on how you perform the interview, and 30% is based on the skills, and the 10% is only based on the knowledge in the sense, what I mean is the subjects, the curriculum subjects like data structure, soups, concept, etc. So I'll stop sharing the screen. So, so why they will conduct the interview is to assess your programming ability and the logic building and solving towards the program. So before what in the interview, the resume is an important aspect. So the resume should be very much short and precise, and it should not have any errors or it should not have any corrections in it. So make sure that your resume is crystal clear and error free. So mention only 2 to 3 programming language in the order of proficiency. I will give you the I'll share I'll, I'll share one of the document for you. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So the format for the resume can be seen here. So the name, your contact details is important, and the career objective should be very precise, and it should explain why you're giving the interview and what is your objective of the career. So that is are you going to join the corporation, or why you are going to work in a particular IT sector job. Okay, and the next comes the intern. If you have done an internship or any project, you can mention it here. Also the academic qualifications. Okay, your certifications, and the programming languages known, and all the extracurricular activities, okay, and all the personal details. So this is the format for the resume.
Pawan,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Pawan, can you share like some? Can you tell about some links to prepare for the interview?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. For interview preparation, what they will ask in the interview is the curriculum of, first of all they will ask what programs did you do in the contest or the coding contest. They
Okay.
may they may ask you what logic you have applied for it, what algorithm you have used, what approach you have used to solve the particular problem. And they can also ask about the project, and what matters in the project is you should explain it very well. You should have the ability to express what you have done in the project, and what the in the project they will ask you what was your role in the project, uh, what is the outcome of the project. Okay. uh, they can also ask the architecture, what problem are you solving in it, and what approach you have used to solve the problem in your project. What what technologies you have used. You can use you have used AI, ML, or any other big data, etc., etc. Such kind of technologies and frameworks we have used.
Okay. Okay. One more thing that I want to know, like as a you people are just 1 year it is completed as you are graduated.
Yeah.
So for these guys, like any tips like to, because still the dates are not announced for the interview. They may have 1 week or 2 week time. How they can start preparation, because here there are some unplaced students are there, like they are trying from last 7 to 8 months, almost from 1 year,
Okay.
by attending so many companies, and now they got the chance in the Infosys.
So
So how they can improve their interview preparation?
okay. For all such guys, let me tell you one thing, that Infosys is not only the company in India. There are many companies and you will get many opportunities. But it's always better to get an offer and keep an offer in as a backup in our hand. So to prepare for the interview, first of all, you need to write a good resume, and okay, after that you need to you need to learn about the project, and you need to assess yourself, right? There is data structures, data structures and algorithms, and operating system concepts, database, etc. All these you have to learn.
Yeah. Even you can take some peer interview also. Like one student is taking the his friend interview. Like they can do that also. Even
We can interview our own friends.
yeah,
Most probably your interview will be conducted in the virtual, so
yeah,
you can arrange yourself as a you can arrange Google Meets in between your friends and assess yourself and check how you perform in the interview. Like one friend can be an HR and can take an HR interview, one can take a technical interview, and another friend can take a managerial interview, etc.
yeah. Means they need to attend some mock interview also.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. You can conduct yourself mock interviews in between your friends, so that you can assess among yourself that how much well prepared you are for the interview.
Because the thing is that even in the May month they are having the exam, and so in the 2 months they are getting they are graduating. So guys, those who are still unplaced, please take seriously, and you request your project guide to arrange the mock interviews, because even in ENTC, electronics, CSC, and IT, already the students are passed out, and because passed out means in the, like they are also gone through the same platform. So you can request also through your project guide, or you can request your seniors to conduct a mock interview. So in this way you can improve. Yes, there are some questions in the chat box.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Rohit.
So I'll be talking about my interview experience also.
Yeah.
So first of all, I like to thank Ashwar and Pawan for their experiences. Like they've put quite their quite the points of the interview
Yeah.
before me. So like for me, it's like very relieved for putting up the points. So I'll be proceeding with what I experienced in my interview and what actually the interviewer like expects from you.
Yeah.
So first of all, first of all I'll talk about a generalized interview perspective. Then I'll move for 5 minutes, and I'll move to the power programmer interview.
Okay.
So for everyone who will be going through the interview for the first time or first time Infosys, like focus on what weak points you had during other interviews. Try to do analysis of what you missed up in the previous interviews, because until and unless you do so, you would never improve on the mistakes that you had done in the interviews before, because because you might also repeat those same mistake in this interview also. So try to analyze what all questions were there in their interview, where you went wrong, what you should have avoided. Do all those analysis. Try to come up with a plan wherein you can understand, okay, this was wrong, and this should have been done in this way, or I should have answered these questions in this way. So do those analysis. Okay, and try. You can also get to the fact. You can ask your faculty to review the analysis and see what opinions they have based on the interview. So in this way, you do a SWOT analysis kind of thing for the past interviews and about yourself, and then you can prepare for the interview. So uh, as Nayak sir has told that there are many students from ENTs and electronics batch also. So for those students, it's very good that even after being from a different department, you have cleared these exams. It's very commendable. So yes, there are many interviewers who might be from your background, and they might get into the technicalities of your department as well. Okay, so you should be prepared with respect to your subjects that you have studied in the curriculum, because like you might never know who is the interviewer. The interviewer might be a very good expert in the field that you have studied, in the area that you are studying. So be prepared with your concepts so that you do not face any shortcomings during the interview. Okay, and one thing that you should show in the interview is that you are like water. You can flow anywhere. Okay, so you have to show that you can you can take the shape of any mold you are put into. Okay, you do not have to show yourself as a rigid person wherein you show that only I'll work only in this part, or I know only this, so I would only go into this particular technology or so. What you have to show to them is that you have a good hands-on experience, or you have a good proficiency in these particular areas, but you are very flexible to learn something new and get into any requirement, any kind of requirement from the company and all. You can learn new things. So this kind of attitude is very must during the interview, that you show them that you are flexible enough to work in any kind of area that the company provides. Okay, so this attitude you should have. And the second thing is that when you're going for an SES interview or a PP interview, uh, you should be very clear with programming knowledge. Programming knowledge in the sense, I'm not talking about language skills. I'm talking about the algorithm building skills, the logical problem solving skills. Because in the interview, the interviewer expects you to solve a question within 10 minutes one question within 10 minutes. So they might give you 2 or 3 questions and ask you to solve within 15 to 20 or 30 minutes. Okay. So for this, what that judging about you is that how comfortable you are in problem solving and programming. Okay. So an interview is a area. Interview is a particular part wherein you are put under extreme pressure, because you know that this interview might get you to the other side where you clear the interview, or you might be left to the other side wherein you are not selected. So this pressure you already have during the interview. So they know that you have this pressure, and they try to give you questions which are tricky. They're not hard, they're tricky. So they see how much calm you're from your mind, and how much pressure you can handle, like while solving the problems. Because in the production environment, or in during the company when you're working, you might have a huge amount of pressure from your different fellow beings and teammates, or from the client side you might have very like too much pressure. So what is your plan of tackling that pressure, and how you handle that pressure by solving the questions? Even in that particular scenario, how are you tackling, or how are you approaching the questions? That matters most. So they see your comfortability in programming. Okay. And you don't have any barrier on to which language you need to select to solve those questions. You can take up any language you prefer, any language you feel like you are confident with. Okay. So you have to always solve, you'll be provided with any question from the interview, other than the technical knowledge questions, oral questions. Just from the solving perspective, you'll be given 2 to 3 questions. For PP interview, you'll definitely get it. For SES, it might depend on the interviewer. They might give, or they might give it to you, or they might skip that part. But for power programmers, I'm 100% sure that they'll give you, because uh, it's the basis of your career in Infosys. So they see whether you are comfortable in programming or not. And if they feel that you are not comfortable, then they might not consider you for that role. So talking about the weightage of problem solving in the interview itself, it is more than 50%. It takes up the maximum part of your interview. Okay. Rest, apart from that, you should have your you should have the knowledge of your fundamental computer science fundamentals. What I mean is data structures and algorithms, and then your database and operating systems. Okay. So these 3 questions, these 3 subjects, I believe, are for both electronics, ENTC, and IT and CC. So both of the department, these 3, I think, are taught in the curriculum. From what I know, I'm not pretty sure about database, but for OS and data structures and all, they have some subjects in the curriculum. So and if you do not have, also try to go through these 3 particular subjects, because these subjects are the very core of logic building skills, because they have very standard problems to be solved, or which are being solved. There are certain standard problems in the operating systems. There are certain problems in a database. There are certain problems in your data structures also. So these problems have already been solved. So you can understand those problems, you can understand those solutions, and based on that also, you can develop your algorithm skills, your logic building skills. So definitely go through these subjects very seriously. And apart from that, you can, if you want, if you have time, you can go through the other subjects which are less important than this, but should be known to you. You should have a brief knowledge about them, like computer networks. So just the gist of networks, what how it is flowing through. Taking an example of how a website loads, or how a server works, how a client server communication works. Just the basic knowledge of this is enough in computer networks. And apart from that, so these would be your technical, these are the technical subjects that they would focus on: your programming skills, your database, your data structures knowledge, your OS knowledge, and sometimes your networking knowledge also. Okay. Now this is what this was the subject areas that were from the company's perspective or from the interviewer's perspective. Now the other questions that might come up to you might be from your resume, the way the skills or the achievements or the technicality or the technical exposure that you have mentioned in your resume, they might be the base of your interview. So you need to be very sure of what you write in the resume. When you're 100% sure, or you are pretty sure that you can answer the questions that come up on that particular topic, mention it in your resume. And from the fear of getting too much questions on that topic, you should also not skip that part from the resume. Okay. So in the resume, when you make up a resume, always mention the best highlight of your technical skills on the top. That is like from my experience, from what I suggest is you should always mention your technical best technical highlight in the first place. Okay. Never mention your academic skills on the first line of your resume. After your career objective, never mention your academic skills, because that is a very bad habit, because then you are not prioritizing your projects and experience in the resume. You are prioritizing your academic skills, and academic knowledge is not what the company wants from you on the first hand. So always you should have projects or your trainings or your project or your internships on the first half of the page. You can always have your academic skills and other parts in the lower half of the page. And one more thing, like when you make a resume, do not make it of 2 pages, 3 pages, because no one would ever go to the second page. Consider yourself as an interviewer, and if I give you a 2-page resume, you would not go to the second page, because for you the first page is the highlight, right? So if you make 2-page resume, what happens is sometimes you put some highlights in the second page also. So never make a resume of 2 pages. Make it of try to fit it in 1 page. Make it clear. Don't make it congested. Don't add everything just in small text. Try to analyze what part of your technical skills are important, what are not, and what to mention in the resume, because resume is what we say, just the physical. Okay. So if you take yourself as an example, your physical appearance is your resume, and what's inside you is your CV. Okay. So how you have to put up your physical appearance on the resume, that's onto you. And
Your resume is like a passport for the selection in the company.
Yes. Thank you, Pawan. So try to focus on making your resume short, crisp, and very clear. Okay. Adding your hobbies, you can skip that part if it is not fitting in your resume, because you can explain it in your what you say, introduce yourself question. You can put those things in introduce yourself, because they do not play a very important role in the resume. In the resume, for a technical interview, you should have all the technical knowledge technical highlights that you can provide in the resume itself. Okay. Your interests, your place of birth, your social media, these do not matter. Okay, these do not matter in the resume. And specifically, they should not be mentioned at your start of the resume. In the resume at the start, it should be only your email ID, your phone number, your address. These three things are important, because these three are the primary contact points for the company when they want to contact you. Okay, and you can, if you want, you can also mention your GitHub and your LinkedIn on the contacts part only. But apart from that, your Facebook, your Twitter, nothing matters. Don't mention that into your resume. Okay. So uh, so try to be picky when you are making a resume, and do not, first of all, do not take any format from the internet and try to make up a resume. You will never be able to fit your content in the formats that you get from internet. Take a blank page. uh, if you want some if you want to be little creative, you can design a particular, you can decide a particular design on a pen paper, like I want to place these things in this way, and then based on that start writing your resume. Okay, so when you have a blank page, you have a flexibility of moving your text anywhere. You can play with your text any way, so you do not have the restriction of that template. So never follow it and never take a template and edit that template. Always start from a blank page. That is one suggestion from me for your resume. And now when you mention something in the resume, what happens is the interviewer would he would be very curious. Okay, you have written machine learning, you have written what you say, like image processing, you have written cloud computing, you have written these kind of buzzwords, you have written these technical words. So they would ask you, okay, what you know about this field, what have you worked regarding this field. Okay, so these questions are only are only asked to you only if you have mentioned it in your resume. If you have not mentioned it, they do not touch that particular side. But it might also depend on the interviewer. They might ask you, okay, what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning. So from that perspective, if you do not have any projects in the industry 4.0 technology, the latest technologies, what you can do is you can just get a basic brief idea of what these technologies are, what these technologies aim to solve, as the what problems they aim to solve in the current scenario. So this knowledge is more than enough for the interview. And if you have some projects in that field, then you should have at least good knowledge on what project you have, what was the technology in the project, and you should have a good knowledge on that particular technology. Okay, so these were the parts wherein you have to focus. So what I said was, one was your problem solving, that would take more than 50% of your interview. The other 20-30%, what you can say, is your technical knowledge on the subjects like database management system and all those things, and the technical words that you have mentioned in your resume. Then the other most important part, the third most important part, is your project. When you are talking about your project, at that time you need to be very clear with what project you have decided, or what project you have completed in your final year or pre-final year. Okay, because the projects are a way of judging your technicality, not in the scope of writing code. It's in the scope of understanding the problems and solving the problems. Okay, so interviewer would never get into the technicality of writing code. The interviewer would never ask that, okay, what code have you written for this, what code did you write in your project. No one would ask you that. What they ask is, what was your project about, what was the question, what was the problem, what was the issue that you're trying to solve with your project, and have you really solved that particular problem with your project, what you aim with your project, what outcome you want with your project, what have you learned from your project. Okay, so all the general questions around your project would be there. There would be nothing technical as to like how have you solved peer-to-peer connection in your project. If you have any peer-to-peer connection, how have you solved it? This is
They can
very
also
rare.
ask what was your role in that project, and what problem solving approach you have used in it, and what kind of technologies you have implemented in the project, like uh, machine learning or AI, etc.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
also in
Thank you,
the
Pawan.
resume, you should mention your project above your academic skills, because academic skills are not that mandatory. They only need that you only fit in the criteria. So, and it is not mandatory that academic skills should be in tabular form. You can only mention your CGPA score or percentage of 10th and 12th. It is not mandatory that you should always mention it in the tabular form, because it takes a lot of space. So, and also in the skills section, when you mention your programming languages, mention the first language in which you are skilled the most. And like suppose if you know three languages like C, Java, and Python, and you are skilled in Python more, so mention Python as the first language, and after that, you are good in Java better than C. So and you know Python better than Java. So mention in order, in such order, like Python, Java, and C. So your first language should be the language which you are most skilled in. And also you can mention SQL and NoSQL as well in the skills. And one important point is, don't mention the operating system, like OS, Windows, Ubuntu, Linux. Don't mention such thing. One of my batchmates did this mistake, and he has mentioned Ubuntu in his operating system. And the interviewer asked him what is the symbol of the Ubuntu, and he couldn't. What is the logo of the Ubuntu, and he couldn't answer it, and he was rejected. So don't do such foolish things. Okay, and also uh, your project should be above the academic, because they want to know what you have worked and what technology domains you have worked. And the project, what matters is the problem solving approach, and what you have done in the project. They want to know that whether you are capable of explaining what you have done in the project. Do you have good communication skills, that what you have done, that you can express it and you can emphasize it very well.
Okay.
Over to you,
Thank you.
Rohit.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you so much. So, okay, I was talking about the project. So, when you explain about your project, the questions that you might come up with is like what the interviewer would ask you is what business, like what is the business, what we say, like outcome you want from your project. Okay, what business outcome you want? What what is the motto of your project? Okay, what type of problem you're solving with your project? Okay, I'll give you an example of my interview questions on the project. So my project was around getting the number of people standing in a queue. Okay, so what I do is like if there are like you can go to a reservation counter and there like there's a very long queue there and you have to wait for quite a long time. So it disrupts your what you say day-to-day life or your schedule. So for solving that particular problem, we are giving the live queue count. What is the queue count of the different reservation counters or the RT office counters or the like there are different counters like in bank and all. So there are many service places where you have different where you have queues. So if you have the current live feed, what is the number of count of the queue in that particular area, you can plan your visit to that area accordingly. So that was my project. So this project had what do we say some distributed systems approach and machine learning approach, and also the front end was on basic HTML and CSS, not on very current technologies like React and Angular, but because it was just doing the part of showing you the count and all. So my interviewer asked me like, "What problem are you solving with this project?" So I explained him that you like when you go to a particular counter of a particular service counter, you face these issues for your schedule for your day-to-day life. So you can schedule it in advance. You can schedule your visit in advance, wherein you have to visit it for a very short span of time, and you can finish your work very efficiently. Okay, So then they asked me, what have you learned from the project? And uh, and then after that, they took a real time scenario. They told me like there are 30,000 employees in this particular area of the DC, and if we deploy a project on our different food courts. Okay, so I went to Pune DC for the interview. So they have food courts over there. So they gave me a particular scenario wherein they said that they'll be placing my product in different food courts. How would I handle different food courts? How would I differentiate between different food courts and all? How would this work? So I told them that this project does not need only internet to run. This can work on your company's network, your LAN network of the company. And also for each and every particular food court, you would have a different camera ID. Based on that, if you select the camera ID, you'll get the respective count. So we can map the camera ID with the food court or with the particular counter in the food court, and based on that, the user can select and get the live feed count, so that they can visit the counter with a prior what we say prior plan of schedule. So then the productivity in the company would increase, because not everyone would go and clutter the food court at the same time, and overall lunch time of the company would not increase. We can decrease the lunch time of the company, and the company can work more efficiently than the current scenario, or it can improve at least a 0.1% in the efficiency of the company if you implement this. So you have to explain your project's real-time scenario. If they ask you some real-time scenario, if they put up your project into a particular situation, you have to explain those things as well. So the understanding of your project from business perspective, from technical perspective, from application and problem solving perspective, so these perspectives have to be clear in your mind. No one would go into the technicality, how have you written the code. They just want the technical knowledge, what have you used in your project, like which technology stack you have used, and how have you approached this problem, and what is the business outcome, what is the application out, what is the end user outcome you want. So these things you have to focus on in your projects. And apart from this, these are the technical questions. Apart from this, you might get some HR questions or managerial questions, like are you
Before
willing
going
to
to
do any
HR
post
questions,
graduation?
Rohit, I would like to tell them that for SES role, they can SES and PP roles. They can ask you in the what code you have written in the programming language, for which what code you have written for the problem in the coding round. So if you should prepare the problem for the coding round. So they can ask you what problems did you solve in the coding rounds. If you had two problems and you had solved one or two, they will ask you what approach and you have used for it, whether it is dynamic, whether it is greedy approach, or whether it is divide and conquer algorithm, what kind of algorithm you have used, and what is the complexity. They can ask you. And also they can also ask a program during the interview. Your interview will be probably virtual, so they will give a console or window for programming and another for the interview. In the programming console, you need to write the code and solve, give the solution for the given question. For power programmer roles, they can ask a new program during the interview itself. They, they will also provide you the what you can say input and output for that. They can also they will ask questions mostly on dynamic programming. It may be maximum common subsequence or subset. They can also ask you what is the difference between subsequence and subarray, substring and subset, etc. Uh, Also, SQL queries can be also asked. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pawan. So I've discussed about projects and problem solving. So like now I'll tell you about some questions that might come up from the technical point, from the subject points. So you'll get for SES and PP, I believe that they'll be testing your proficiency in database, because in the training you are not trained on any database or so. Probably you'll not be trained on databases. You'll just have a very short introduction on database. And for PP, there is not even an introduction on database. So they'll be checking whether how comfortable you are in database. You have to know at least any one database, either NoSQL or SQL based database, but you have to know any one of them. You have to know, and you have to be quite good in that, because they will not rely on the basics knowledge, basic select or insert or what we say create table queries. They'll be asking you advanced queries in SQL, wherein you have multiple joins. You'll have different kinds of filtering using, like you will have different what we say scenarios in which you'll have to use uh, what we say limit clauses, and there are index clauses in SQL also. So for these kind of things, you have to study your database in a very deep way, because they want you to be very proficient in databases. And then regarding OOP concepts, you need to be clear with the basic OOP concepts. What is OOP, what OOP aims to solve as a problem in procedural programming. Okay, what is the difference between procedural programming, functional programming, and object-oriented programming? What is the difference between them? Okay, and some very basic questions that people don't know are like what is typing sensitive, what is type sensitive languages. You need to be very clear with these very small concepts, but you need to know these concepts, because they might ask you these questions. And also uh, try to learn as many standard problems in programming as possible. By standard problems, I mean sorting, searching, and then we have shortest path algorithms. So these or we have subsequence or subsequence questions, subsequence problem solving questions. So they are very standard problems in data structures. uh, at least for in your third year, you might have learned data structures, like not data structures, design of algorithms and their analysis. So you need to have a very good understanding of the standard algorithms that have already been implemented, because and not just the basic bubble sort or selection sort, insertion sort, or just merge and quick sort. You need to have the understanding of bucket sort, or there are different other sorts also. You need to have the at least the understanding of how they work. Okay, from a programmer perspective, if you know the logic of the sorting, you can build that logic and you can write that logic into code anytime. So you need not go through the code at first. Try to cover the mathematical perspective of that particular sorting. When you understand, then you can go through the code. Okay, so try covering all the sorting algorithms, the basic search algorithms, and the hardest type of questions that they can come up with in an interview for you, using a particular standard problem, is shortest path algorithm. So there are three shortest path algorithms. At least for PP interviews, try preparing your Dijkstra's algorithm, Floyd-Warshall, and Bellman-Ford algorithm. These three algorithms are very standard problems that they can ask you in the interview. And what are the differences? What type of benefits they provide compared to other algorithms in the this criteria of shortest path algorithm. So you need to be clear with these standard problems. Okay, So you can go through the curriculum also. In the curriculum, you have many standard problems in the design analysis and algorithm subject. So even if you complete that, that is more than enough for your interview. And uh, do the basics of like understand the basics of OS algorithms. There are some OS algorithms that are based on scheduling. You should be good in the understanding the mathematical side of solving the algorithms. Okay, no one would ask you to code those algorithms. No one would ask you to code first come first serve or round robin algorithms. No one would ask you to code that. But you need to be you need to have a good understanding of that particular algorithm. You need to understand how it works mathematically, because the interviewer might give you a question, might give you a table of different process, and then would give you like ask you how would what would be the total execution time in round robin or in first come first serve or shortest job first. So they might ask you these questions, because these things are considered from a solution architect point of view. So when you are going for such post, you are not just a developer, you can also be placed into an architect role, also solution architect roles, wherein you have to design the way of solving that particular problem. The core the core designing of algorithm is the part of a solution architect. So you can also get into the role of solution architect after you join the company. The job that you might get inside the company might be a solution architect. So you need to know the basic understanding of these scheduling algorithms, data structures, their complexity, the algorithm complexities, what complexity of
Also,
the algorithms are.
also in data structures, they can ask to implement stack using queue using stack, and they can also ask you implement linked list using stack, implement stack using linked list in such a way for SES and PP roles. Also, they can ask you about tree or graph. Uh, they can also ask you about basic what is a successor, what is a predecessor, etc. And can they can also ask you whether you can implement an tree using a linked list, whether you can implement a graph using a linked list, etc. Also, they can ask you a kind of problems as Rohit mentioned, the traveling salesman problem, or other problems like Dijkstra's shortest path algorithms. You should have a better understanding about it. You should, you can. They won't tell you to write the code for it, but they will ask you to explain the problem and how you can solve the problem using what kind of algorithm you can solve it. They will ask you. Also, you need to know about the complexities, like time complexity and space complexity for that. Uh, Also, in operating system, they can also ask you what is the difference between multi-threading and multi-programming, etc.
Thank you, Pawan. So, so you have for like from the preparation point of view for data structures or algorithms, standard algorithms, you can go through the curriculum of our engineering only, and what I believe is that covers at least 80% of the problems that might come for you in the interview. Rest 20% you have to explore by yourself. Some problems you have to explore by yourselves. But from the majority point of view, your subject is quite well versed with all the technical problems or the standard problems of algorithm. So you can go through the complete subject, and that would bring you wonders in the interview also. And so this was from the perspective of the subject knowledge that they might ask you. And
And also
from
about the current IT trends, they won't ask you directly about the cloud computing or big data or IoT or business intelligence, etc. They will only ask about it if you mention it in the resume. Like suppose if you have done any project in AI or ML for image processing, etc. So for or using a cloud computing, you have used cloud computing in your project like AWS, etc. only then, if you have mentioned it in your resume, then only they will ask you. Or they suppose they can also ask you a brief overview. If you don't know, just clearly say it. I don't know it. I have not explored that domain yet. Don't just short some short some wrong answers. Okay, it would be a bad impression on you. And they can also ask about the software development, like agile methodology, etc. uh, uh, like waterfall models and other agile model, etc., etc.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you, Pawan, for mentioning the software development lifecycle. So, at least for the CS and IT students, they might have gone through all the software development life cycles, waterfall or ring or what we say agile model. So they are well versed with what all what are the differences of each of the software development life cycles, and what benefits or what demerits they have with respect to each other. So please go through all those concepts, because they are the base of designing an algorithm, or they are the base of getting to a solution for a particular problem solving question from the client. Okay, so these, because your solution designing is based on how would you develop it in parts, how would you test it, how would you develop it. So testing, development and everything comes under a software development life cycle. So you need to understand how does the software development life cycle works. Okay, so for ENTC and electronics student, they do not have this subject. So I would suggest you to go through software development life cycles. There are different models. There are waterfall models. There is a ring model. There are 3-4 different models, and the most important is agile model, because the current industry follows agile model of software development life cycle. And in agile model, we have a particular application that is called Scrum. So Scrum is a type of agile model that we are following in the industry. All the companies, all the industries follow Scrum as an agile model. So you do not need to understand Scrum in very deep. What you need to understand is what is agile model, what do you mean by agile, what benefit it gives if you are solving a problem with the agile approach. Okay, so understand what are the basic software development life cycles and explore the benefits and demerits, so that you are in a position where you can understand which life cycle is best for which kind of problem statement. Okay, and so this was all from the solving perspective of your subjects. And when you are talking about your problem solving questions in the interview, when you get 2 or 3 questions, at least for PP, you'll definitely getting some questions on problem solving. So you can, what you need to do is you need to go through different standard problems, because there are certain questions for interview that are standard. Okay, like coin change problem, or like there are multiple questions where you can learn. So they are generally asked in the interview, or they can be reformed into a new question. Okay, but the basic idea of solving that question would be from a standard problem. Okay, they would or they would give you a very basic algorithm for designing, not standard problem. But the questions that you get in the interview are not lengthy questions. These questions are supposed to be solved in 10 to 15 minutes, at max 15 minutes. Okay, from reading the question to writing the code, everything involves in 10 to 15 minutes for each questions. You might get 2 or 3 questions. Okay, so at max, that you can, the maximum time you can take from the interviewer is 25 minutes for 3 questions. So you have to understand what type of question it is and solve it, because these questions are not very hard, these are just tricky questions. You need to understand the trick of solving that particular questions, and the solving the code for that question would be not more than 15 lines only. I can guarantee you that the problem that you will face, if you get 2 or 3 problems, the code would be short, but they would be tricky. And if you are getting only one question for solving, that might be a lengthy question. So you have to prepare in that way also. So you can target some questions on different platforms like HackerRank, HackerEarth. You can target those questions from a medium perspective, not easy and not completely medium, but something between easy and medium. You can target those questions. What I would suggest is, rather than going to a different platform, you can go through Geek for Geeks. Geek for Geeks is a very good platform for getting some questions, because they have interview questions. They have a section for interview questions. So they in that they have a section in Geek for Geeks that is called practice.geekforgeeks.org. You can go to that particular section. You can get some questions from there, because they have very standard problems. They have a huge list of problems, and you can solve it there. You can get points, you can increase your ranking there also, and you can understand the problem solving approaches from there. If you are stuck on a problem, you can see the solution. They always have a link to the solution. If you are stuck on that, you can visit the solution, you can understand the solution, and then implement it on your own. Okay. So in hacker rank and hacker earth, you might get stuck into something and you might not get the solution. What you can do is, you can visit Geek for Geeks. Geek for Geeks has almost all standard problems. Visit that site. Geek for Geeks, I in the sense I mean practice.geek4geeks. In that, you will get all the questions for solving. And if you're not able to solve it on that IDE, you can visit the solution. In the solutions tab, they have a solution link. You can visit that solution link, and you can understand the solution that they have provided with explanation. Okay. So you can prepare for problem solving from Geek for Geeks, as of now, what I can recall. But if you have other different sites for preparation, like there are many subscription based sites like Code Signal and all, Code Signal, and there are different other sites also. So you can, if you want, you can have a subscription and prepare from them. And if you want a free material, then you can go for Geek for Geeks. Okay. So
There are also sites like Code Chef, Lead Code, SPOJ, and Lead Code is also there. For tutorial, for learning perspective, there is Tutorials Point, Geeks for Geeks, Data Flare, and Guru 99, etc. Such kinds of sites are already available. And the computer sector or IT sector, though subjects are available free, most of them are freely available on the internet in these sites. If you want to get a subscription based, Data Flare is one of the site, and there you can explore more technology domains like and also there are also Udemy, Coursera, etc. Also Swayam portal is also there for learning. And apart from these, uh, there is also a question from Shreyas Zadav. If the interviewer thinks that PP role student has done average, okay, okay. So actually, I was one of the student. Along with Rohit, I was also selected for Power Programmer interview, but I couldn't clear that interview. And for me, another interview was conducted for SES role, and I cleared that interview, and I got selected as a SES role. I along with I Rohit and another girl from IT was among the first 300 participants from the Hack with Infi in 1,18,000 participants. With three of them were from among the first 300, and we were selected for Power Program interview. Rohit had cleared the interview, and I couldn't clear it. The question that I couldn't answer was a SQL question, SQL question. It was based on indexing. I had to find the middle record of the table. The average, if there are 15 rows in the table, we have to display the record which is in the middle of the table. That is the seventh or eighth record it may be. So there are chances that if you are selected for the Power Programmer interview and couldn't clear it, they won't directly reject you. They will give you another chance for SES role,
Pawan,
probably. Yeah.
Pawan, actually, the
Yes.
thing is that whatever the that previous all the processes are completed. This drive was there, no, in campus. It is specifically only for Power Programmer and SES role, and based upon that, they are shortlisted these students. Okay, and
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
I
if
got
suppose if the student if won't perform well, maybe they will
okay. Yeah,
directly reject, because that process is already completed through Hack with Infi and InfiTQ. In the last month
yeah,
only
yeah.
we got the result, through Hack with Infi and InfiTQ upgrade test. Through upgrade test, they got the SES role and Power Programmer role. That process is completed,
Yeah, yeah.
and this is the
Yes, yes.
separate one. So I think in that,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe if the student won't perform, maybe they will directly reject.
Yeah.
There can be such case. Uh, I was selected for through Hack with Infi. That is the reason I got another
Yeah.
chance for
Yes,
ACS.
yes, yes.
But for in the few students were also few students were also uh, upgraded through the InfiTQ platform.
Yeah, yeah.
They were selected as a SE, but SE. After that, they had cleared the round two, and they some of them have got a interview for Power Programmer, but they couldn't clear it,
Yes,
and they are still working in SE.
yes, yes.
There may be a case, it depends upon the company.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about whether they will give it definitely or not, but for me it was there.
yeah.
That I'm saying.
Yeah, in the
So
last month only we got the result. In the last month only, few of them students, they got the final selection. Like they gone through upgrade test. Like whatever the
Okay.
same you gone through, no, through in the
okay.
Power Programmer you were rejected and you got ACS. So in the same way we got that result in the last month, and this process is different. This in campus it is only for Campus Connect partner they conducted a test.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. If it is an upgrade test, I think there won't be another interview for SES.
Yes, yes,
Guys, take it a good chance, grab it. You won't regret it afterwards then. And coming up to HR questions, they can ask you about uh, where you can relocate, and will you be comfortable working in night shifts or day shifts. They can ask you, but it is not mandatory that you should accept whatever they say. If they say that will you work for support, you can say yes or no, but it won't impact your job letter. It won't impact your job offer, but it is always better to have a priority on ourselves. Like if they ask you that whether you are able to relocate to any location in the country, if you are not comfortable with it, you can say that I would like to be based on priority. I would like to uh, be on selective locations only. Like suppose if you can work on only few locations like Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and you couldn't work in Delhi or Indore, DC, you can mention it in the interview itself that you would prefer to be in such specific locations only. Okay, and they can also ask you that whether you can work in the day shifts and night shifts. Few of them can accept it. A few shouldn't. Few should not accept it. If you are comfortable with it, then only you say that I am willing to work in night shifts as well. Because night shifts are not about around 8 to 10. One of my friend who works in TCS, he has a night shift, and the timing is for him. The timing is 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the night. So he works in the night shift. So if you think that you are comfortable working in uh, such hours, then you can say it. And if you are not comfortable, just mention it clearly that I would be comfortable working in day shifts. Okay. Such kinds of HR questions can also be asked. And also, if you're very good, and if the interviewer can ask you a tricky question like that, if another company offers you a good package, would you select it or not? And if they can also ask you, why are you going to join Infosys? And they can also ask about the what do you know about Infosys, etc., etc. You should be able to answer it. Okay, and you should be able to answer it clearly. Apart from it, so suppose one of my batchmates was asked a question that uh, if he gets an offer from Google, and would he select the same role? For him, the question was such question was asked that if if you clear any another coding round from different company like Google and they offer you a job, would you select Infosys or would you select Google? So in such case, how will you react or how will you respond to that question? Okay, so for in such scenario, you can say that you can say to the interviewer that I'm happy that you have I'm happy that you have thought that I am such capable of working in working and getting placed in Google, but based on my skill set and my knowledge, I don't think that I'm currently capable of working in Google company or such any big company like Apple or IBM. So based on my skill set currently, I am capable to work in the SES or PP role. So that is why I'm selecting Infosys. You can answer in such a way, and you shouldn't say that no, I will not, I will join only Infosys only. Even if Google offers me around 20 lakh package or 25 lakh package, I will still select Infosys. It won't be a genuine answer, and you will get rejected if you answer in such a way. The
Okay.
answer should be genuine.
Yeah. Yeah, Pawan. So these questions do not actually have some correct answers. These are very diplomatic and dilemma type questions. So it's on you how you react to these questions. We cannot give you a sure short answer that would get past you these questions. It's actually these questions are managerial questions that you face in the interview, and you have to understand your role, and then you have to answer the questions. Okay.
Those questions are personal response questions. It
Yeah.
depends upon the individuals. We cannot say that everyone will answer in this way only, or everyone will answer in such a way only. It differs from person to person.
And one more thing I would like to add here, don't mug up the answers for these managerial questions. The
Yeah.
interviewer can grab that the front person is mug up the answers and he is only giving a speech. Don't be like that. Be natural at that time.
Okay. Don't give any hyper realistic and very non-realistic kind of answers, because if you give any non-realistic answers, they think that you are just faking yourself. Don't fake yourself. Be genuine to you and to the interviewer. Okay. Uh, and be safe during the interview. By telling safe, I mean that what you say in the interview has to be thought in your mind for at least two times if you are not thinking before speaking. But if you're thinking, that's good, but at least think twice before answering any question or framing any answer for a question, because what you answer is the fuel for your interview. Okay. The more fuel you put, the longer the interview gets, the harder the interview gets. It's all
Also,
upon you. It's all upon you. Okay.
yes.
So it's just be sure of what you're saying. Be short and crisp, as short as and crisp as possible, so that you can complete your you can focus on your skills. Okay. Do not let the interviewer catch you off guard. Try to drive your interview by yourself. Mention your own, what all things you are comfortable. Only try do not make your answers very long or very confusing. Okay. If you are very clear with
Sorry
your
to
answer,
interrupt you, Rohit.
yeah.
Hello. Yeah, as we have both of three of us shared our experience and all other scenarios, shall we give some time to shoot the questions to them?
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah,
they
sure.
can,
Sure.
I would
as
like
we
to add
want
one
this.
point. Uh, that whenever interviewer asks a question, directly don't answer it. Think twice before you answer any question. Like they won't tell you anything, or they won't reject you just because you took a longer time. They say that you can take time and answer. Suppose if they ask the question and you are not comfortable in answering it directly within a minute, or you can take time of like 2 or 3 minutes, frame your answer and frame your answer in your mind, and then put it up to the interviewer. It is not mandatory that interviewer has asked the question and directly you have to answer it without thinking at all. It, if you answer in such a way that you don't think at all and directly answer it, it would be a bad impression. Instead, you should wait and process the answer in your mind and then answer it.
Yeah. Perfect. So as far as said, I would like all the participants to at least come up with some questions,
Yes,
so that at least we'll get some feedback whether
yeah,
we
yes,
have
guys.
delivered our points correctly or not.
Please unmute and ask.
Yeah.
Guys, there's no need for you to write everything in chat. You can unmute your mic and ask questions. There is no harm in asking questions after unmuting.
Uh, Shrutik, are you there? Shrutik,
Yeah, yes, sir.
so can you share your experience? As last month only you are attended interview for SES role, that is for upgrade test. So can
Yes,
you
sir.
share your experience?
Uh, yes, sir. Uh, so about my interview experience, like uh, first they asked me about my projects, like in depth. They try to know everything, like how well you know about your project and what is your role.
Which platform they are
Then,
using for interview? Which
sir,
platform, like Cisco WebEx or like Google? Is there any
sir, I
separate
don't know actually. I think WebEx. They use WebEx.
Cisco WebEx?
Cisco. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, so after that, after projects, uh, they give me one code uh, to write in any ID,
Okay,
and and programming language of whichever I like. Like I choose Python.
okay,
So after writing the code, they gave me some test cases. It was a kind of a sorting question. Like I need to sort ages and put them into category. So it was kind of that question. So after that, they gave me some uh, test cases, and so after that coding question, uh, he moved on to database and gave me one query. I don't know which query, but he gave me one query
okay,
and and tell me to write it on the chat window.
okay.
Yeah. Then
Have you used
most.
editor?
Yes, sir.
Have you used editor for compiling program coding and all?
Uh, yes, sir. I have used PyCharm.
Okay, and you
Like I've been
posted the
using PyCharm.
code in the
Yes, sir.
chat box, and after that you
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Chat was.
okay, okay,
Yes, sir. He told me to share my screen so he
okay,
can view
okay,
what
okay.
I. Okay.
And
So
what was
after
the
that,
time duration? Time duration, total interview time duration?
uh, so it was about 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes,
Okay,
the whole duration. So he generally asked me about database question mostly, like normalization and other joins question. That's all. Uh, then he asked me some OS question, mutex, and the interview ended.
okay. Okay. So any others from ENTC and electronics students?
So, Naik sir, can we proceed with questions? Like, can the
Yes,
participants ask questions?
yes, yes, guys. Please, like unplaced students, it's a golden chance, and I think to join the Infosys company, it is the last opportunity because in the off campus, it is not possible to join Infosys. It is very difficult. It is in the in campus only. I think you are 99% you are completed all the procedure. Now just only the interview, the 45 minutes that will change your life. So still you have the time. You prepare well. Because 73 students means it is a great opportunity. In the that too in a separately they are conducted only through this Infosys Campus Connector colleges. Please ask any questions. And I think you people know these guys, Rohit Kumar, Pawan, and Aishwarya. I think Rohit Kumar is from Varanasi. Hai na? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Pawan and Aishwarya is from they are from Solapur, right? Pawan, you are from
Yeah,
Solapur,
sir.
no?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. So, guys, even means I can share you their mobile number and email also. If you have any questions, you can directly contact them. But they will they will helpful because see they from last 2 hours they given their valuable time. So it's a grateful. It's a from my bottom of heart, like all the three guys. I thought it may be like 45 minutes or 1 hour, but these guys are like they shared the company, they given all the details. Thank you, Aishwarya, Pawan, and Rohit.
Thank you, sir.
There is a question in the chat
So
box.
yeah,
PP
yeah.
role
Rohit, there is a
interview will
question.
last. For how long the PP role will interview will last? Let me tell you one thing that the interview for an interview doesn't last for a defined time. Like no one can say that your interview will be conducted for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour. It depends upon how you respond in the interview. Suppose if you respond well and if you answer the questions correctly, and if the interviewer thinks that you are capable of answering the questions ahead also, they won't take much time. You can finish the interview in 10 or 15 minutes also. And if the interviewer thinks that I think he need to assess you more, he will ask you more questions than, and the interview will extend to around 20 to 25 minutes or 30 minutes. You cannot say that it is defined time, it will take that around half hour or 45 minutes. It depends upon your response. If you respond well and if you answer the questions very well, they can finish it up and wind up your interview within 15 minutes. And it is not the case that if the interview is completed within 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you are selected, or if the interview takes a longer time, you are selected or rejected. The way you answer the questions, based on that only they will decide to select you or reject you. So you cannot say that if the interviewer took around 15 minutes and your interview was conducted for only 15 minutes, you cannot say that you have completely rejected, or you cannot say that you are completely selected. Or you can, if the interview is also conducted for around 45 minutes to 1 hour, still you cannot say that you are selected or not. You can say how you can judge yourself, that how you have answered the questions. You can get an brief idea that if you answered well, you may get selected. You can understand that if you are answered well, you can get selected, right? So it doesn't matter how much time the interview goes on. What matters is your answers and the way in which you respond.
And for this, as Praful has asked, is there any chance they will they ask for demonstration of our past project?
Yeah. So yeah, hello, I got disconnected in between.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So Harish, okay, the question was around interview, how much time the interview takes. Okay, I think Pawan has answered that question.
Yes.
And okay, to just make you sure, you will definitely have a minimum time of interview because you will be given questions to solve. So for that, you will get some time around 15-20 minutes. So you can expect that your interview will at least last for 15-20 minutes, because sometimes if they give you hard questions and you solve all of them, and they're very confident, they're satisfied with your solutions, they might not even proceed for the interview and select you. It's all on how satisfied the interviewer is with your answers and solutions. And then we have a question that, is there any chance will they ask for demonstration of our past project? So in the interview, you do not have your file or certificates or your what you say, your any kind of equipment that you have for demonstration. You will not be asked for any demonstration. You will be asked only for the understanding of your project. Okay, if they want, if they ask you for demonstration, they would ask your demonstration verbally, not not by showing your project in real time. You have to you have to give the explanation to the interviewer verbally, not by any means of equipment. Okay, so just be
Rohit,
clear from your
Rohit,
mind what project it is. Yeah, sir.
Rohit, sorry to interrupt. Because nowadays what happens, even they know, like they are in the last stage of their graduation,
Okay.
and now their interview is going on virtually.
Okay.
There may be chances like to show the demo of the compiling the code and all. They may ask maybe because it is virtually as the because even now our like nowadays we are taking like project demos through these Google Meet and all.
Yes, sir.
Even for I think your batch also virtually it is happened
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
project demo
So,
and all.
so in that
Yeah,
case, if the project is capable of running on a single machine, then
yeah,
they might ask you for showing, because you will be the one telling the interviewer that it is capable of running on a single
yes,
machine.
yes,
Then
yes.
they
It
might
is,
ask you to demonstrate it.
yes,
There might be a chance, but if it is a distributed application, or if
yeah,
it takes more than one machine, they would not ask you for demonstration on machine. That I can guarantee.
yes, yes.
Okay, then what level of coding question they might be asking for SES role? See, there's no specific kind of difficulty of question that they might ask for PP or SES. It all depends on the interviewer. The questions I can definitely like tell you is that they will not go for advanced level questions, because they those questions take time for solving. They would ask you questions that can be solved within 10 to 15 minutes only. Okay, these type of questions would be there, not very hard questions. The questions would be very tricky, not very straightforward questions. The questions would not be hard, but they would be tricky. You have to understand the difference of hard and tricky. So tricky in the sense, like, you have not explored the other way of solving that question. You are stuck only to one way of solving. Okay, you might, if you try to solve it in a different way, you might get to the solution very fast. You have to explore the ways of solving and then come up to the approach of solving. Okay, if they ask a particular question and do it on a particular language which we mentioned in our resume, and we don't remember the syntax, for example, can we say I don't remember the syntax, or switch it to other language? See, if they want you to give your solution, it's not compulsory for you to give it in a particular language. Even if you have written that code in a different language, there might be chances that you forget the syntax, because while coding in the in the competition, or while solving the problem, you definitely get an ID. So the ID has auto suggestion features, so you might not know the syntax, but I would suggest you to be thorough with the syntaxes for at least what you have solved. And if you are not, you can give them a pseudo code. You just ask them that I can't remember the complete syntax, but this is this way I can represent this particular way, and this is a pseudo code for that. You can do in that way. Or if you want, you can switch the language. You can ask the interviewer, I want to switch the language, because I've been practicing this different language over quite some time, so I cannot recall the syntax of that particular language in which I have solved. You can share this point with them, and you can be flexible with language. And I don't think that the interviewer would give you a barrier on language. They because of, what the interviewer said me in the interview is that they just check whether you are comfortable in programming or not. Language does not matter. Language is just 2 days away. Is a 2 day learning process. Whether it be a language or a new technology, the basics of any language or technology you can learn in 2 days only. So they would never restrict you on languages.
What they check is your problem solving approach and ability to program, ability to write the code. That is only they check through the program. Okay, they won't ask you that you should code in this language only. You should write a problem solution for this program in a particular language. They will just say that this is the problem. You have solve it in any language you know, and you can prefer your the coding language you want, which you are which you are most skilled in.
Yeah. I would suggest the participants to unmute and ask rather than writing in chat. You can unmute and ask. There's no harm in that. See, guys, you need to be comfortable while speaking. So try to be more verbal as possible. Okay, try to be verbal. Try to ask questions verbally, not by chatting, because this would definitely boost your confidence.
Okay, I think the student they don't have any questions, Rohit.
Yeah.
Even if they have any query, you will share your email ID and contact number. They will definitely contact you.
Okay, sure, sir.
Because still date is not announced there, and I already you people are given guidance and like what to prepare and all. So definitely they will follow. Okay, you want to say anything? Yes, Rohit.
No, sir. I'm
Yes.
done from my side.
Yeah.
If the students have any questions, then only I can answer.
Okay. So with permission
I would
from
like to add a point to
yeah
students
yeah
that let me tell you that Infosys is not the only company. I will tell you that even if you, it is a chance, it is only an opportunity.
yes
You give your best for this opportunity. The result is not in your hand. What is in your hand is how you participate, how
definitely
you take up the interview, and how you attempt it.
yes
The result is based on the interviewer. So if you get selected, it is a good thing. Even if you get rejected, doesn't matter much more. Don't lose your confidence, because Infosys is not the only company. There are
yes
many more companies. Okay. And still that in India there are more than 25 lakh IT employees in India, and Infosys has only around 2 lakh or 2.5 lakh employees, whereas TCS has around 4 lakh IT employees. So even if we minus those, there will be around 18 lakh IT employees who are working in different companies. So you will get selected at least in any company. It is not that if you get rejected in Infosys, you won't be capable in joining any other company, or you won't be capable to join to work, or you are not capable to work. Don't lose your heart. Don't lose your confidence. If you can clear one coding round, or if you can clear a code if you definitely clear until will also clear you will other interviews as well. Important thing is do you attempt it and what you learn from it. Even if you make some mistakes in the interview, it doesn't matter. You should learn from it, because whenever we are trying something new, or whenever we are trying to do something for the first time, it is sure that we make mistakes, and we should learn from them and then proceed. You shouldn't be stuck that I am rejected from well. You should learn from your mistakes and proceed, because if you get stuck, you won't proceed anywhere. But most probably, give your best in your interview so that you can
Thank you for.
clear it.
Any questions from participants?
okay okay I think they don't have any questions. Okay, thank you Pawan, Rohit and Aishwarya, as you people are like great mentors or motivators to the students. Thank you. And even our now presently in the April, in the next April 2nd and 3rd, our 21 22 batch, that is our present third year students, they are appearing for the InfTQ. Means through InfTQ platform they are appearing for the Infosys. They have the pre-qualifier round, and after that in the May month they are having hack with Infi. So again, I request you people to again, means I will invite for the next batch students to give some guidance. Yes, thank you, Pawan, Rohit, and Aishwarya for joining and
Yeah.
spending almost
Thank you,
2 hours.
sir.
Thank
And all
Thank you.
the
Thank you
best
so
to
much.
all.
Thank you.
Prepare well and give your best. All the best to all for your interview.
Yeah. All the best, guys. Make sure that this is your last chance. Attempt in that way, and just don't lose hope. Whatever the result is. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Okay, guys, we will end this session. Thank you.